got some fresh hot takes for you coming right out of the oven. A quick rundown on the Marist women's basketball team, and that QB carousel keeps going round and round this NFL offseason. All of that and more on today's segment of MCTV Sports.
Hello everyone, and welcome to MCTV's first show of the semester. I'm John Rohr, alongside Connor Kirkpat. Let's start with some hot takes. Last week, Michigan State head football coach Mike D'Antonio announced that he would be stepping down effective immediately, with Luke Fickell opting to stay at Cincinnati and a long list of potential candidates, including defensive coordinator Mike Tressel, former head coaches Jim McElwain and Brett Bielema. One man emerged as a clear favorite, Colorado's Mel Tucker. Despite Sparty's interest, Tucker tweeted last week, while he is flattered to be considered for the head coaching job at Michigan State, he's committed to Colorado and its great athletes, coaches, and supporters. This morning, Mel Tucker accepted an offer to become the head coach at Michigan State. While Tucker's new contract isn't cheap, talk certainly is.
I 100% believe that Derek Carr is staying in Oakland. You know, all last season, the whole storyline was that John Gruden passed on from Khalil Mack and that Derek Carr was next and he was going to target Kyler Murray. Well, that didn't happen, and I don't think that's going to happen again. This season, Derek Carr had a career-high 4,054 passing yards, a career-best 70.4% completion percentage, and a career-best 63.7 QBR. I think if they just get him some pieces, maybe a new wide receiver, a guy like CeeDee Lamb in the draft, he'll be all right. He's going to show that he can improve in his third year in the John Gruden system.
Former United States national team manager Jurgen Klinsmann has left his position with German side Hertha Berlin after just 76 days on the job, a relationship that lasted just 4 days longer than Kim Kardashian's first marriage with NBA player Chris Humphries. Klinsmann's reason for leaving are nothing short of delusional. Klinsmann stated that he took over a suicide mission, citing a lack of support from the club's higher-ups. When in actuality, Hertha spent more than any other team in the world during the January transfer window. Heck, $80 million seems like a lot of support to me. However, Klinsmann's questionable remarks shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone. After all, this is the same man who said he would have led the United States to the semifinals of the 2018 World Cup, a World Cup the U.S. failed to qualify for, thanks, in large part, due to Klinsmann's managerial incompetence.
I got to be honest. I really do like the MLB's new ruling of when a new pitcher comes in, whether he be starting or relief pitching, they have to pitch to 3 batters minimum. I think this will do a really good job of speeding up the game a little bit more. You know, it won't be as much cuts to commercials when you pull someone in. Now, I get people might not like it because some of that strategy of putting in one pitcher to go against one batter may be gone. But I think overall, it's going to add a real nice element of strategy in planning what pitcher you're going to put against those 3 batters. I think that's going to be really good, and it's going to be a new interesting piece of the MLB pitching rotation. That's all for the hot takes. When we return, we'll give you our thoughts on this year's free agent quarterback class. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. While the NFL offseason is just getting started, the league isn't ready to give up the spotlight just yet, as this year's free agency class promises to be one of the best in recent history. Connor and I will now discuss some of the potential landing spots for some of this year's marquee free agent quarterbacks. Let's start with the big one, Connor. 45-year-old Tom Brady.
Listen, I think that there's still a good chance that Tom Brady's going to end up back in New England. It's hard to imagine Tom Brady not in a New England Patriots jersey, to be completely honest. But if anybody gets him that's not New England, I think it's going to be the Chargers. Chargers just shipped out Phillip Rivers, and I could definitely see him going to the other side.
Yep, just like you, I can't imagine him leaving New England. The Chargers, good spot. Obviously, Phillip Rivers heading out. He spends a lot of time in Southern California. My sleeper, Tennessee Titans. Losing Ryan Tannehill, potentially. Of course, what you want late in your career, you want to be able to ride your running game. We saw the Titans do that all through the playoffs. Possible landing spot.
I could definitely see that.
All right. We've got a trio here. The Saints have 3 quarterbacks set to hit the market. Taysom Hill, of course, restricted. Drew Brees, Teddy Bridgewater, Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill, we'll see about that. If anybody gets him, it's going to be somebody who wants to use him in the similar way the Saints did, where they can plug him in at receiver or use him in different wildcat formations. When it comes to Teddy Bridgewater, I think there's going to be a big market for him. I could see a lot of teams going out and looking for him. Now, Drew Brees, that's another situation like Tom Brady. It's going to be hard for me to see him not in a Saints jersey. If the Saints can find a way to get him, I think he's going to go back to the Saints.
Brees back to the Chargers, maybe? Never know.
Never
Duper accurate. Taysom Hill's yet to prove that he can be a real quarterback in the league.
Sure.
No touchdown passes, only 45 attempts or so. Bridgewater, winner, struggled with some injury, but appears to be healthy now. Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, mobile quarterbacks.
Listen, Jameis Winston, there have been rumors that he's going to go to the Raiders. I don't think I necessarily believe that, but Jameis Winston, listen, there could be so many landing spots for him. I think he did have eye surgery today, so maybe that fixes his whole interception issue. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. I might be able to see him going to the Titans.
Okay.
And when it comes to Cam Newton, that is a whole nother story. He's been injury prone for way too long. I don't know as a coach, if I would be 100% comfortable adding him as my starting quarterback. I think I would much rather target someone in the draft like Tua or someone of that caliber. But we'll have to see.
Now, given Tua's health concerns, does that worry you at all? Miami thinking about him maybe?
Yeah, so actually, if I was Miami, I think I would take Tua, sit him at least for a year, and maybe even get someone maybe like Cam Newton, Teddy Bridgewater, someone that I can have up for a little while to take over, maybe teach him something similar to what Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes. I would do something like that, and then if Tua was able to get healthy, then yeah, I would definitely like to plug him in. The only thing about Tua is that it's a big risk. I wouldn't take him early. I would take him later on, but yeah, for sure. I think that would be good to sit him and have him learn from someone.
So staying in Florida a little bit, Phillip Rivers relocated to Florida recently. Left San Diego, left Los Angeles.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, would not surprise me at all.
For
all right,
sure.
Couple names. Mariota, not going to have a whole lot of chatter about him.
No,
not
backup.
really sure you can play that. Yep,
Seems
exactly.
backup for sure.
Tannehill wasn't so great in Miami.
Yeah.
Had a bit of a resurgence in Tennessee.
Listen, maybe as I was saying about Tua, have someone give him a little tutelage. Maybe that's going to be Ryan Tannehill. Maybe Ryan Tannehill will be someone's starter for a year, sign him to a cheaper contract, have Tua learn under him, maybe like the Miami Dolphins. Bring Ryan Tannehill back home. We'll see.
Yep. Of course, Chicago maybe needs a quarterback. Mitch Trubisky,
Very
can you trust him?
I have a very hard time trusting Mitch Trubisky. Also, you never know with the Browns. I could see Marcus Mariota maybe going to the Browns.
Yep. Browns could definitely use a backup. They had Tyrod Taylor.
Right.
Obviously, he's gone.
And there's a lot of
He's a free
uncertainty.
agent.
There's a lot of uncertainty with Baker Mayfield as well.
Yep.
I personally think he could do the job, especially with Freddie Kitchens gone now. But I mean, hey, you never know. You never know what this new coach is going to think.
Yep. Baker Mayfield now in his fourth coach with Kevin Stefanski coming in. It'll be an exciting offseason, no doubt. Free agency signing period starts March 18th. Stay tuned. After the break, we'll give you an update on Marist Athletics as well as our games of the week.
Welcome back to MCTV Sports.
It's now time for the Red Fox Rundown. Let's talk some Foxes. Women's basketball started 18-4. How are we dancing this year?
I believe we are dancing. In fact, just earlier in the week, Marist beat their biggest competition, the Rider Bronx. Don't ask me why they're the Bronx and not the Broncos, because it's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, the Marist Red Foxes beat the Rider Bronx 63-58. Rebecca Hand had a great game. She put up 20 points, 10 of 11 from the free throw line. And even though the Bronx MVP, Stella Johnson, put up 26 points, we still found a way to shut them down and come out with the win. It was pretty huge.
Of course, women's basketball is home tomorrow to Canisius at 7 p.m. in McCann Arena. Going off of land into the pool. Swimming, what's going on?
Swimming, well, today actually began the swimming championships, and they're going to run all the way through Saturday. So everyone who's a fan of swimming and just a fan of the Marist Red Foxes, stay tuned and check it out.
All right, staying in the pool, Marco.
Polo.
Water polo.
Water polo, indeed. This past weekend, the Marist water polo team played in the tournament. They won 2 out of their 4 games, so they did pretty well. And make sure you watch out for the Marist water polo team, because coming up in March, they're going to be having a championship game that takes place over the weekend. It's actually going to be here. They're going to be hosting a couple teams, so it should be pretty fun to watch.
Awesome. We'll stay tuned for that. Moving on to our games of the week. My game of this week comes from the XFL, where Cardale Jones will not be playing class, but instead will be playing quarterback for the DC Defenders as they take on the New York Guardians, fresh off a Week 1 victory. Both teams are looking to ride their quarterbacks to a 2-0 start and emerge as early season favorites to win the XFL championship.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how Cardale Jones does. A lot of people were really riding the train last week after seeing him play, so let's see if he can continue that into this next week.
12 gauge is his first start since college, where he led Ohio State to a national championship.
So let's see what he does. Yeah, let's see what he does. So my pick for the game of the week is the Washington Capitals versus the Colorado Avalanche. Nathan McKinnon is top 3 in the league in points and top 5 in goals and assists. He's been absolutely electric. He's absolutely killing it for the team. And Cale Makar is not only top 10 as a rookie, he's also a top 10 defenseman. So he's been absolutely playing out of his mind this whole season. The team's hot, red hot, in fact. They're on a 5-game win streak. But it's a very special night for the Capitals. In fact, Alex Ovechkin is chasing his 700th goal. He has 698 right now, so if he can put up 2 goals, which he most certainly can, he's one of the most prolific goal scorers of all time. It'll be pretty huge. It'll be a monumentous moment.
Yeah, pretty impressive for Ovi. Feels like he's been around forever. If he plays into his 40s, he'll catch Gretzky.
I could definitely see that happening. All right, that's all we have for this week. We'll see you next time on MCTV Sports.